In this episode, we're expanding the conversation into the far reaches of the Bravo universe. We're going to be looking at life post-prank in the Real Housewives of New York. We will explore the premiere episode of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And we are going to touch base with our favorite housewives of Salt Lake City. Plug those earphones in and get ready for this episode of AllegedTEA.
Who was going to start the dreadful talk about the end of Roni?
I was actually going to ask how the baby moon went. Did you guys have a good time?
I'm still here. I'm in Mexico.
Oh, shit.
So for a little context, Emily, you and your husband are currently on a baby moon, and you're in Mexico?
Yeah, I'm in Cancun. Okay.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Does Cancun hold?
I logged in to watch Roni, and my husband was like, honestly, Emily, like, please turn that off. Like, I really can't bear it. And he doesn't say that. Like, he's seen enough Housewives in his day. And he was like, This is so bad. And I was like, I know. It's dreadful. It really is dreadful.
I guess that brings us to our first topic.
Yeah.
The labor-intensive, no pun intended, the labor-intensive latest episode of Roni finds the aftermath of that, I guess, diabolical prank that Erin and Becky, as she goes by on Instagram, Erin and Becky played on the group of women. And I'll say that, I don't know, I mean, I think Jessa did a really good job of summing up how a lot of people felt about it, how it was so uncomfortable and inappropriate and tone deaf. I think Sai said tone deaf. To joke about something so sensitive and intimate like a prospective pregnancy.
At least a few of them are like, wait, what?
I think they all did.
You know what's the most annoying part is Raquel was in on it and wasn't like, no, this is not a good idea, Erin. Like, this is not a good idea. This is not funny. Like, all of the above.
The newbie was scared. The newbie was scared.
I don't know what is so scary about Erin. If I was Raquel, I would have.
You know what? I decided I went through my mind of like, what is really happening here? And I think none of them have over the top enough ridiculous personalities. Like, except for Jessel, I would put her, like, Jessel makes me laugh. And like, I could put her in that category. She's kind of like a Kathy Hilton-esque, like just says what's on her mind. And I love Kathy Hilton. She cracks me up. The rest of them are just boring. Either they're not sharing what's like, Uba's not boring, but like her personality is not like ridiculous. I would put her in a more serious like category. And when you think of like Jill Zarin, Bethany, Ramona, Sonia, Luann, you have these huge personalities. Even go to Salt Lake City, like those are one of one. Lisa Barlow, Meredith Marks, like Mary Cosby, like these are one of one characters. Like you could close your eyes, paint a scene, and you know who's the scene. These fools, it's like like Jeff Lewis said he likes them because they're all still working women, and I'm like, okay, but like they're not bringing anything that is going to capture viewers' attention. There's not.
You know, it's what you said earlier, Emily. I believe the issue is that they are not comfortable showcasing what is actually happening in their lives. And I think that the fact that they concocted a prank to display and to cause just chaos, it's very telling, but it's odd. Like when you resort to that, it's odd. But I know that in our group chat, we were passing some links, not necessarily about how fans are reacting, but just the numbers behind the actual show. So when we say numbers, we're talking about like Nielsen, demographics and ratings, and it's compiled by pulling streaming numbers and things of that nature. And I think one headline, and I may be quoting the Sun, which I know is a god awful British tabloid, but the Sun claimed that the ratings for this new season of Real Housewives of New York are down 1,000%. And that should be alarming to anyone involved with the production or creation, including the women of the show.
I hope Andy Cohen. I hope Andy Cohen doesn't like really continue to try to ride for this, because I feel like he thought if you put Jenna Lyons on a show, it's just going to crush because she's so Jenna Lyons. But again, we talked about it in our private chat. Jenna Lyons is not showing her fiance. Brynn is not showing her dating life. Uba is not showing her personal life. And, if you want to really get to know somebody, and you have to, if you put them with their partner or their spouse, like, you're going to see who they really are. You put them with the closest people, you're going to get intimate views into their life. And then people connect with that, which is why Real Housewives of New Jersey worked so well for so long. So if you're not going to show us that, and then we're watching 30 and 40-year-old women do pregnancy pranks, sorry, but you could do better than that. We could do better.
Yeah. It's just tacky. It's so tacky. And I'm like, the fact that Brynn went along with the prank is that was surprising.
That was actually, I was surprised by that, because I would think that would be her moment to stand up and say, well, first of all, it also kind of makes me think of her level of awareness, that she didn't entertain the idea that perhaps this, once she realized it was a prank, that it was concocted to kind of out her as someone who is, or that the women deem not to be trustworthy when it comes to sensitive information, or I don't want to say secrets, but kind of they see her as this gossip in the group. So I really thought that it would be her opportunity to kind of stand up in that moment and say, this isn't going further than me. This is ridiculous. This doesn't make any sense. Why are we wasting our group's time on a fictitious prank, instead of just really getting to, or showcasing who we are, and allowing our lives to be on camera. It was all very odd. And I think that, Jen, I thought about something you said last week. You talked about the idea of them not being produced. And I think that this is kind of proof that I don't think any producer would be like, what's a great, what you guys should do? It's a fun idea. So I think that only reinforces your idea of that they're just not, they're kind of left to their own devices.
So I disagree. I feel like Brynn running with that prank was right up her alley as the I'm going to stir the pot. I'm going to be the shit stir. I'm going to do all of that stuff, because that has been her character the whole season. And then the juxtaposition of them being but I froze my eggs and I'm going to ask Gideon to be a sperm donor. It's girl, what kind of crazy, what kind of chaos are you living in right now? And then the fact that I still can't, as cool and as much as we all love Raquel, I really cannot get over the fact that Raquel looked Erin in her face and was yeah, this is a good idea. And I know we're not even there yet, but I think I know who my drip drop is.
I think I'm done with these leaky pigeons. I'm ready to not talk about them anymore.
I think it's the whole franchise may be a drip drop, which actually really upsets me, because I used to love the New York franchise. But I'll say this: I'll share a little bit of. Well, it's actually, I wouldn't say AllegedTEA. So I had the ability. I ran into two of this cast's housewives within the last month. Most recently was Sai at an Amazon holiday event, I'll call it. Yeah, the holiday. And it was a little bit of a rain cloud was over her. It was, she was very kind, very nice, but just kind of low energy. And obviously I brought up the show. And she was very direct, where she was like, none of us knew it was a prank. And she's like, there are so many of us that would never joke about that. And it was just like deadpan, like boom, boom, boom. I took a selfie and I shared it in the group chat. But it was like low energy. It was almost as if she knew things were amiss with like kind of like the main driving force of her vehicle, almost like the thing that she signed up for and has been driving along for the last 2 years. She it almost appeared as if she could tell that things were not it was a bumpy road ahead, as we'll say. But that's not alleged tea. That's just tea. But I will say that, like, we originally thought of this idea to talk openly and to kind of share our opinions and ideas around kind of the fun that is Housewives. And for the most part, these last few episodes, the conversation hasn't been. We've been really trying to make it fun and interesting and engaging. So we've decided to kind of, not leave watching Roni, but kind of bring more Housewife franchises into the fold. And I got to tell you, thank God, or whomever you deem to be a higher power above, because this week we were graced with the undeniable, powerful presence of the return of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right? Can we clap a little? I mean,
how can you even compare? Like, how can you be talking about the same universe when you compare the two? Like, you're giving like the characters, money, drama, dressing up, scandal,
real life on display. Real life on display. Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to say I'm a Kathy Hilton stan over Kyle because a few years ago. Because in 2020, when Teddy Mellencamp's alleged diet scam was outed by yours truly,
AllegedTEA,
and she was charging people for her accountability program, and they were eating, according to what I saw, like 600 or 700 calories a day and exercising an hour of cardio, like just insane, and paying her to keep them on track. I remember, because I've watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for years, I remember specifically Kyle Richards in France, I want to say, talking to, I think, Lisa Rinna about her issues with food and how she didn't want her disordered eating to translate to her daughters. So when Teddy had this alleged diet scam come out, I wrote at Kyle Richards, like, how do you feel about this? This is like your bestie. Mind you, I thought Teddy was terrible on the show. She was like literally watching paint dry. But anyway, and Kyle like yelled at me. It ended up in all the tabloids and said, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be a housewife or something like that. And she blocked me. And then when Kathy Hilton came on the show, like, you might not like Kathy Hilton, but Kathy Hilton is who she is. I mean, she is a ridiculous character. Anyway, just a preview into what's coming in Beverly Hills, Dorit, like, is going to call out Kyle for like being a producer more so than like sharing her life. Because I think that Kyle talks about the audience making her question her sexuality, or she alleged like something tabloids. Like that. So
I believe she said tabloids.
Oh, the tabloids
and
did
media,
it. Okay.
Tabloids and media making her question her sexuality, which is like
interesting.
Yeah.
And Dorit is like, my whole life is blown up. My husband is an alcoholic, gambling addict, and we're separating in the first like 30 minutes.
Gambling? Wait. Hold on. How have I watched?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because AllegedTEA gambling. Okay.
No, she said it though.
She said it. She said like they're in debt and stuff like that. Or like
she said I stood by him through the gambling allegations. Which her saying that to me means that it's like real. Like,
yeah.
Wait, but I love that Dory like came in hot at the party and was like met the new housewife and was like, "I'm getting divorced. My husband's an alcoholic. All
Oh,
this
right.
craziness happened in my life." And the new housewife was like, "Okay, we're bonding."
Yes.
And then
No,
she
but
was
that
like, "What do you do? What do you do?" And she's like,
I
"Oh, I'm like a
but
major like person."
oh my God, Boz St. John is like so I in real life I work in digital marketing. Boz St. John is like the premier, the upper echelon, the most elite blueprint of a digital marketing innovation leader. She is work. I've seen her speak twice. She is absolutely the definition of the real deal. And I love this trend now of housewives shows casting like movers and shakers and like bosses. I know her name's Boz, but I'm saying, like real
Mhm.
bosses. And part of her story that she has talked openly about during her different types of talks. She was at Uber for years. I think she was at Apple. She was at Netflix. She was at all these different places. Was that her husband passed away pretty young. And they just dove right into it at the party. Like she just spilled everything to Dorit in like two minutes. And I'm like, whoa, this is pretty major
It was
immediately.
it was intense, but I kind of was like, I'm living for this because after Roni, I need something to like keep
Yeah.
me interested.
And can
Well,
we
good for
talk
them.
about
Tell their
something?
own story, by the way. Good for them getting
Yes.
ahead of it, as opposed to Kyle that's like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And it's like, oh, really? Because like the paparazzi photograph you every day with like a woman, and then you're like filming a music video, making out with this woman, and you're always with her. She's like, she's just
Right.
my friend. I don't know.
The Morgan of it all. So along the lines of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I want to pose this question or maybe share this thought with both of you. So for the most part, historically, I do believe that Kyle Richards has kind of been elevated within like the producers and even Andy Cohen kind of see her as like the queen, right? Meaning that she has introduced new cast members into the fold. She is great at kind of propelling storylines, and they also kind of bring her out for a lot of press opportunities too, as like Bravo the brand. Something that I think is so interesting is that it seems as though something has shifted where now execs, producers, possibly Andy, has really centered in on Sutton because now she has introduced two brand new cast members to this new season. We have Jennifer Tilly and Boz St. John. So, like, what do you think of that? I feel like there's a power dynamic that has shifted now in terms of like the imbalance is now favoring Sutton.
Well, also they had Dorit as the first Watch What Happens Live, not Kyle.
Right,
I
right.
listen, it's the same thing with Roni. If you're not going to share what's really going on with your life, aka you're going to accuse the tabloids of making you question your sexuality, then become a producer. Kyle's an actress and a producer. She
Mm,
can go do scripted television, she can produce, but then like stop. It's so annoying. It's so annoying to watch. It really is. Like even if she wanted to say she just doesn't know, she's never had a relationship with a woman before, she clearly has some connection. Like say anything. Like why is it like pulling teeth to say it?
yeah.
And it's like if
And
that's how
did
you feel, don't be on television in this
yeah.
capacity.
And Jan, did you notice that when Kyle was talking about being a lesbian without talking about being a lesbian or bi or sexually fluid, did you notice that like Garcelle took her hand? Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I did notice that because I kind of agree with Emily. Like I actually think Kyle had some of this conversation with them privately and is trying to
Oh,
figure out what the media is. Cause like I don't think like I don't know, I love Garcelle too. I don't
yeah.
think you would she would have that kind of emotional connection with Kyle if they didn't kind of already discuss it anyway. And I feel like Garcelle probably like was like, whatever, I got your back. It doesn't matter what you like or who you like or whatever. I got your back. And then like the Sutton, honestly, I feel like Sutton has been very underestimated. And so the fact that this season she brought in two new housewives, one of them is Jennifer Tilly, like, and they're both like heavy hitters. These aren't like she bought
Yes.
people that are like, this is my friend, I play tennis and go to lunch with them and our kids play together. This is like, no, I'm a powerful like businesswoman and I brought in two heavy hitters. I think, yeah, the power dynamic is gonna shift slightly.
But
Yeah.
Sutton is also the biggest heavy hitter financially, probably on the
Yes,
show. Her
she
husband is like
is.
a fucking,
Yeah.
excuse my language, billionaire. And
Yeah.
like she always has been. And now Kyle is separated, not divorced, but Erica's had her financial issues. Kyle, they have no prenup. So that's interesting. Dorit, God only knows what actually in her bank account. I mean, she looks fabulous, but like I wouldn't bet $1 on anything. So Sutton really, she's the no beat. That's why
Yeah.
Sutton can be real. She could call it how she sees it, because she is the one with like a lot of power and a lot of money.
Wait, the sad thing is though, the last two times I've been to LA, I always like set aside time, either like like a 2 hour window to try to go to her store. I think her store is closed.
Maybe it's just a part of the
Oh.
show.
Oh, because I always wanted to go to her show because I was hoping to like run into that man assistant that she like she has him doing everything.
If you DM her and tell her you want to shop, she'll probably open it for you.
Yeah, I would, because you know what? Because I've, even before Beverly Hills Housewives, listen, I'm like an OG Lisa Rinna stan. I think she's amazing. I went to a H&M event this week and like just like I met two of her daughters. They're both like kind of
Oh, you
like
met them?
social. Yeah, and they're so amazing. And I was like, can you please bring, it's also Amelia I've met before, but I met both of them at the same time they were together. And I was like, can you get your mom to come to, like, she's like, she's not coming to New York. They're like, it takes a lot to get her to come to New York. They're like, she's not coming to these things. I'm like, okay.
She likes
But
to
back
like
in the
dance at home in her Free
yeah,
City
she
sweatpants.
loves Europe. She loves Europe and she loves LA, but like she's rarely here. But I remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but Lisa Rinna, before her like resurgence on TV, she had a store in California, in LA. I think it was actually like probably Silver Lake area. I could be wrong.
Yeah, it was cute.
But I went to that store like 2 times. It was kind of like a smushed version of what was it? Kitson? Yeah. But
Cute.
yeah, I've never
Like,
so I wanted I went to Kyle's store when it was in Beverly Hills for that very short time. I try to get to all the housewives shops. I really do. But I haven't been able, but
one of them
Sutton's never open.
maybe someone else will open one, although I feel like they're pretty busy. I don't know if they have time to really run a
I don't know,
store.
or maybe you can get Whitney to send you some jewelry.
Oh my God.
I could just send you links on Alibaba. I could just send you links to DHgate. You could buy yourself.
AllegedTEA.
No,
Alibaba.
no, but listen, those stock images are so telling. Like, if you do what I do, first of all, by the way, have these women never heard of reverse Google search? Because you could plug in the image and it will take you to the link. Like, it's not that hard. Okay.
It's so sad. It's so sad. Like literally in less than a moment, you can identify where an image has come from. And I mean, we're now blending a little bit of Salt Lake City, but
we are. I also think like Salt Lake City, like, are they really how ahead of the times are they?
Salt Lake City is.
They are, but they entertain me.
I gotta tell you that
they're not entertaining, but I feel like Salt Lake City's like 2-3 seasons behind, so it doesn't surprise me that she's like, I haven't caught on yet to the fact that people could Google reverse my images of my jewelry line.
And yes, I agree, and it could just be the snow makes things a little slower, but that kind of brings up this other idea of we've migrated so far away from Roni, because we are enjoying and finding so much entertainment in the other franchises right now. And specifically, you know, Jen, you just brought up Salt Lake City. Like that is that should be the blueprint going further. That is a fantastic cast. Even like the Bronwyn stuff, I accept. I think Todd's a little problematic, but you know,
But at least she's
He's
showing.
of that
At least it's real. At least it's on the
yeah.
show. He's a total dick, but they filmed
Right?
it.
He just doesn't he seem so angry? Like I'm trying to figure out why he's so angry.
Because he's like 75. Like, what does he want to be
Well,
there with
yeah,
them?
I think it's like that generation. Like he's a boomer, isn't he? Like that's that generation. On top
Not
of the fact that
75.
I also think like I saw this written
No.
on Threads, and it was like,
Someone
did
Google
anybody
his
tell
age.
him what this
I
was
am.
about?
I'm doing it
Like,
right
did
now.
anybody tell him what this show is about?
No, do you
I
know
don't
what?
think
I
he
think
knew
no, I
what
don't think so.
She was signing up for.
I think like the ones that have the really rich husbands, the husbands are like, whatever. Because like it's not for money, right? Like they tell them to do it as an activity.
Okay.
It's like sending your
Wait,
kid to gymnastics class.
Okay. Bravo.com describes Todd as 26 years older than his wife. So let's
So
see
she's like
what the
36.
Ish, right?
So he's almost 60.
I don't know. Oh, he's got to be.
Oh, he's 60 something. I can't.
He's
64?
65. He's older than my mom.
Listen,
Wow.
when my dad
Okay,
is
this makes a lot of sense.
my dad's
This makes a lot of
74,
sense.
but like once you get up there, like you take these
Yeah.
you take like my parents'
Right.
age to like loud restaurant, they're like, oh no.
This makes total sense.
Ah.
This makes total sense. My mom would be
Because you don't
so
have time for
annoyed
the
with
shits.
everything.
Like
He's
doesn't have
buying
time
his
for the
wife a
bullshit.
$4 million necklace as an anniversary gift. Do you think he needs to listen to them argue about anything? He's like, I just brought all you minions here. And then you ungrateful assholes arguing in my ear. He probably needs a nap. He's hungry. He's cranky. He's on a schedule. The guy's, he's got to go. He's got to go. And like, but like, I love a good housewife because like Lisa complaining about flying coach, like it's obnoxious as hell, but it's funny. Like she was like, oh my God, I don't think I've flown coach since college.
17C. I'm in 17C. I'll never forget the number.
Should I fly to LA? She's like, my son is fine. Should I go to LA? I just don't fly coach. I don't wear coach. I don't fly coach. I just don't. And it's like, it's obnoxious, but that's what you want. Yeah. That's funny. It's ridiculous. Thank you to that. And
that scene.
Thank you.
Where she's talking to, with the scene where Lisa is talking to, is her husband's name John? I forgot her husband's name. John?
Yeah.
Yeah, John,
that's where Lisa is talking to John about the like practicality of her flying to LA just so they can fly home in first class. I was like, this is TV. This is what I signed up for.
Yeah, like you put that, Bronwyn's outfits, like by the way, you guys saw how she dresses up to go to the airport to pick up her husband, like just for shits and giggles. Like she wears like clown suits. Then you put Mary. Mary is like the most wild character ever.
Oh my God,
cast on Bravo.
She used to be memes. Is she? Are there memes of her? Yeah, like Mimi, because like
everywhere.
Her wild.
Everywhere.
She's jaw dropping.
My favorite one is Meredith. Like when she's like, I love it.
The one who's kind of. No, Heather's kind of had a little bit of an issue, fall from grace, because I'm not sure what's going on with Heather. Whitney really annoys me. Like I could definitely do without her being like, Lisa. Like, oh my God, you don't like her. Like maybe just stop trying to be friends with her. Like you don't like her. You don't like her.
You know what I would say though? So we're talking about the most recent episode of Salt Lake City. Well, we're talking about the whole show, but most recently, the dinner episode. What I thought was really interesting, and I have no context as to what's happening in Mary's life with her son. I believe that more will be revealed as the season goes on. I thought it was really interesting when Mary waited for Heather to like kind of stop fighting with Bronwyn and looked at Heather as, and Mary and Heather have like whatever relationship you want to define that as. And she's like, can you understand why you not liking her husband would upset her? Like it was a very interesting human moment that you don't really see a lot on that show. Like things don't get quiet enough for you to actually hear like a human moment. And in that moment, Heather looked at her and she's like, yes, I can understand. And then it kind of propelled Heather to kind of wake up. And then she gave Bronwyn, I thought, a very earnest, very genuine apology.
Yeah. Well, Mary's husband has taken also a lot of flack on the show, so I think she can relate to that. They were under major scrutiny. I think Mary even, I don't know if she skipped a season or she didn't film a lot.
I think it was 2
she
seasons.
was like, and I actually, she was on Watch What Happens Live and she was like, my husband hates the producers. And Andy was like, oh, well, I'm the executive producer. She's like, no, not you, Andy, not you. Just everyone else. She was like, not you.
Yeah.
And
like, I don't know. I think like Mary, look, she has one child. It's a boy. There's something, women, mothers of sons feel about their sons. And so I could see Mary struggle, but with her like relationship with her son and her like talking about it, because I feel like a lot of moms and future mother-in-laws, because her son has a girlfriend and stuff, where I could see where Mary's been like struggling with that. And I think Mary, even though she's like a ridiculous person, brings a lot of like the humanity to the show.
Yeah,
I agree.
She's somehow very real.
Yeah,
that to me has been Mary's kind of bringing the heart and humanity to, I don't know heart, but definitely humanity to the show. It represents this like evolution, which I kind of like that we're talking about, because our conversation over the last few episodes has truly evolved into including so many more franchises than just the Real Housewives of New York 2.0. So then this is what I want to do a little different than our past episodes. When we talk about our high tea and our drip, let's do it from the entire Real Housewives of universe. So since I just literally flipped that and asked you to do that, I'll go first and give you a moment to think. My high tea is Dorit. Dorit. We're seeing sides of her that we had like a little preview of before. I feel like she's completely embracing everything. She's showing all the cracks, absolutely everything, from her smoking in her car, racing down the canyon, to finally standing up for herself and telling Kyle that the grace period is over. So my drip drop, this pains me to say because I live here and I love the city, but right now, temporarily, the drip drop is going to be just the entire entity that is Roni 2.0.
Wait, I have the same exact ones as you.
Oh no. Oh well, I'm glad for your high tea, but
no, because my Dorit is like bringing it. So like, let's see what you got, girl. Like I enjoy it. I look forward to it. And Roni just we live in the best city in the world with like the most over the top or the most like ridiculous shit. Like you walk down any block in New York City at any given time and you can find something ridiculous happening, entertainment. We're the center of it all. And they are just not giving, it's not enough of their real relationships. Listen, I don't know about putting young children on a TV show, but then maybe don't go on a TV show, because it's like, you watch the evolution again of Jersey is a great example, but even OG Roni, like you see their kids from when they're young. People are so invested when you have that connection. And this is like, I don't know their kids. I really don't know their relationships. They're not like so wealthy where you're seeing like, I was thinking OG Roni was always going to charity events and doing just like very New York iconic things, not playing dodgeball, making up rumors. Sorry.
Pranks. Oh, Jen, are you ready to share your Bravo
Yeah,
universe
okay,
version?
can my high tea be a tie? My high tea is gonna be a
Yeah.
tie with Sutton because I actually think
Ooh.
I'm into like Sutton kind of taking the reins a little bit. So like Sutton is my high tea and Dorit too. I think she's like guns
Ooh.
blazing, but it's like hot. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
let me see what you got, girl. And my drip drop. I was about to say low tea. Like we're not on Fire Island. So my drip drop is also a tie.
Ooh.
Like we already know Roni sucks. Like it sucks. But I really am like mad at Raquel. Like I'm really mad at Raquel for not calling Erin out in that moment and being like, you are an asshole. Don't do that. I'm mad at her. And then my other drip drop is Brittany because from Salt Lake City. Because why are you trying
About
to be a main
her.
character? Like, why are you trying to be a main character? You're not even supporting actress. You're like I don't even know, extra, like the extra. I don't care about you and your relationship with this man. I don't care that you want to talk about it all the time. It's just like I don't know. She's another one. Like she's like Becky McGough. Like who invited me? Like I'm
You know what I
done.
want to say? You know what I want to say to her, Jan? I want to say
Mm.
what Shannon told Jesus Jugs. Oh, you're a TV star.
Yeah.
She wants
You're
to be
just
so bad.
you're just a TV
You're
star.
just a TV star.
She
Yeah.
wants to be
Oh.
Or you're a reality
Well,
TV star.
she wants to be fed.
I have to say this. I don't know. I was a lot more energized by this conversation this week, especially like I know we were in each other's group chats and. But I don't know, including the different casts and franchises kind of like got me going. I love it.
Thanks so much for listening. And did you know that you can actually watch us on YouTube as well as traditionally listening to us on Spotify? And we hope to see you next week. And remember, everything you heard in this episode happened AllegedTEA.